What is the reaction that you get from those people when you're walking onto the street, young fresh-faced busker, and about to do your first song? Was it intimidating? Did people make you feel welcome? What was the crack?
I suppose straight away I was a little bit intimidated because some of those buskers are like some of the most insanely talented musicians that I've ever kind of met, and it's crazy that they're still like out on the street and stuff. But I was intimidated like straight away. But when you actually meet them and talk to everyone, that completely changes because they are such a welcoming group of people that it kind of automatically, I was like, this is great. And I kind of felt like I fit in kind of straight away with them.
I'm very excited about this. It's always great to get people from different genres and different backgrounds on the show. As always, we love to cover as much as we can of the independent music scene, and this artist is extra special because she is a busker and she has been busking for the past 3 years in Dublin, and she's only 17 years old. Would you believe it? Yeah, and so it's really, really cool. And I'm very excited to meet her. She has amassed over 80,000 Instagram follows in the past year or two, and she's amassed over 3 million views on YouTube.
That's incredible.
Wow,
that's incredible.
At 17, I wish I had. At 17, what was I doing? I was playing games.
I wish
playing Nintendo 64, probably about that age, wasn't it?
At 17 years of age, someone had just told me that I could do a Saibh Skelly.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't be sleeping on your couch.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the name. I didn't mention the name. You just ruined the surprise.
Do you know what? I must.
You know what? Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep.
In one ear out the other.
You know what?
I
do you want to take my job, do you?
Now that you mention it, this is a very comfy couch.
Right, so it is the fantastic Saibh Skelly. You're totally right.
I follow her on Instagram.
So over the lockdown, she kept performing, which is awesome. Much respect to artists that keep going, whether it be behind the camera or busking on Grafton Street, which is her go-to location. She also performed for Hot Press magazine as part of their lockdown sessions, and she performs regular gigs on Sessions Live. Most recently performed her headline show. I don't know if it was her debut, possibly her debut headline show in the Sound House alongside Jacob Koopman, which was run by our friends Fluttertone, of course. So I have written down here, if you hadn't guessed so far who it is, but obviously Colin spilled the beans, right? It is the wonderful, the one and only Saibh Skelly! More applause, I guess. Yeah, we're getting a bit of that now. We're getting an extended one for you. Okay, fantastic. It's still clapping. Feck it, I'll just get chatting. How are you keeping? What's the story?
I'm very good. I'm really happy to be here today.
Great to have you. I mean, watching your videos, watching your fan base, your community, and your performances, you're fantastic. You're absolutely amazing. 17 years old. I wish I had that talent at that young age. How are you keeping with all that stuff? Like, how are you feeling with all this? What's happened in the past couple of years for you?
I'm feeling great. I suppose you could say I'm living my best life at the moment because I've just finished school and kind of like now I can like focus on music, even though I have been focused on music kind of the last like couple of years, but now I can really kind of sit down and like focus everything on music. So everything's really good.
Awesome. Well, I mean, you got some great accolades as well over the past couple of years, and recently you had Hot Press Hot for 2021, which is a massive achievement. You had your debut headline show. Was that your first one?
I did. Recently? It was, yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
That was an amazing experience, I suppose. I know there was no audience. It was a live stream show, but that was amazing kind of feeling to get up onto a stage because I've only ever kind of performed on the street and for friends and family. So getting up on a stage, whether it was just for the cameras or not, was kind of amazing, and it was great to share it with Jacob because Jacob is a very good friend of mine. He's another busker. So that was a great experience. I really enjoyed that.
What is it like that you love about busking that you can't get like playing a venue? I mean, you've gotten a taste for both. Which one do you prefer?
So I wouldn't like to say that I prefer one over the other. I think they're very different in the sense that kind of like busking is kind of it's a bit more laid back. It's not a gig. You're not like specifically performing for a specific group of people. It's kind of just like anyone can walk by and see you. And I think the best thing about busking is is kind of the exposure you get, because you never know who's going to walk down Grafton Street. Grafton Street is a very busy street. There's like thousands and thousands of people walk by every day. And like any of those people could stop and like it could be their first time seeing you, like seeing you sing, seeing you as a finding you. And I suppose I think that's the best part, like all the different people that you like that could see you.
I think you're affecting a lot more people, aren't you, that way?
Definitely.
Like you're definitely getting more coverage. And I guess it's a nice break as well from like the online stuff as well, isn't it? You get to be out in the fresh air, which is great. I mean, in Ireland, maybe it's not that great unless it's the summer, right? Let's not kid. I mean, the torrential rainfall we had a couple of days ago, you want to be busking in that, right? But it is nice. It's nice. I busked for a year myself.
Really?
I was playing the cajon for a project as well. And it was lovely. It was amazing. Now, of course, you know, we amassed a few people, you know what I mean? Not amazing amount, you know, and a couple of dodgy characters. Now, it is a little bit dodgy on the street. Like, how do you feel busking? Like, do you feel safe? How is it for you, like, as a busker? And what's the community like as well over there?
So, like, I definitely would feel safe. I think that people don't realise the buskers themselves, like, we are such a community in ourselves. Like, everyone is friends with everyone. And like, when I first started busking, I was quite nervous, and like, me and my mom went, and we didn't really know the rules, and we didn't really kind of like know what to do. But like, shortly after, we found out, because all the other buskers are so helpful and they're all so kind, and like, some of the buskers are like some of the best people that I've met. And they're some of my closest friends now at the moment, because it was kind of a strange way to meet people on the street, I suppose. Sure. But I think...
I guess it depends how you phrase it, isn't it? It's like, I just met these people on the street, like, oh, I was busking, by the way. Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I did. I met a lot of wonderful people on the street, and it is an amazing community, and everyone's kind of there to help you out all the time, and there's always someone there watching. So whether I'm there with one of my parents or a family member or not, like, there's always going to be the other buskers there. And especially, I suppose, because I'm so young, that I would want to make sure that I'm safe, because it's such a public place. And as you said, there's a couple dodgy characters, but there's always someone there watching. So that's great.
Yeah,
I'm very interested to know. So what age were you when you started busking?
I just turned 15 when I started busking.
So here's this 15-year-old Saibh Skelly walking across onto Grafton Street, filled with all of these old pro, buskers. And what is the reaction that you get from those people when you're walking onto the street, young, fresh-faced busker, and about to do your first song? Was it intimidating? Did people make you feel welcome? What was the crack?
I suppose, like, straight away I was a little bit intimidated, because some of those buskers are like some of the most insanely talented musicians that I've ever kind of met. And it's crazy that they're still like out on the street and stuff, but I was intimidated like straight away. But when you actually meet them and talk to everyone, that completely changes, because they are such a welcoming group of people that I kind of automatically, I was like, this is great. And I kind of felt like I fit in kind of straight away with them. And I kind of felt like I could really relate to these people. So it was a little bit intimidating, but definitely, like, that didn't last very long.
And that's okay, because the first time I busked, I was practically chased off Grafton Street.
Actually, yeah. Tell us a little bit about your busking.
First time I ever busked was with I don't know if you know Owen Leonard, a very, very versatile
I do, actually,
musician. And we decided to go, and we stood outside the Disney store, but the Disney store had just opened.
This on Grafton Street,
on
guys,
Grafton
by the way,
Street,
at home.
yeah,
This is we're talking busking talk here. Busking shop, by the way, just in case you were curious.
We did something by the Gaslight Anthem, and we did Everlong by Foo Fighters, and literally zero interest, zero coin. We went over to Henry Street, same thing, zero anything.
It's a tough one.
Yeah,
So do you have any
yeah.
like tips for like people that are starting out new and want to busk? Like, do you have like you should write a book or something on this? Would you not think of a guide or some Saibh Skelly's guide to busking? You know, that sounds like a money maker.
I suppose like busking is kind of, it's different to other things. You got to remember that, like, you are at the end of the day, I suppose, trying to make money.
Absolutely.
And you're trying to attract kind of a crowd, I suppose. And like, obviously there is specific genres of music and specific songs that people are going to automatically be attracted to. So like, you could be the best singer or you could be the best guitar player in the world, but you could be playing a song that people don't know and they won't stop. And they won't get to stop and appreciate your talent. But if you play, like, I'm going to use Ed Sheeran as an example, because that's a very popular one on Grafton Street. If you play Perfect by Ed Sheeran, you could be like pretty average and not very good, but automatically you're gonna have people stop and listen because they recognise the song.
I got my set list sorted now. Brilliant. All Ed Sheeran songs.
Yes, I've done it myself.
You look like quite a tall Ed Sheeran. You could be,
Thank you. Take that as a compliment.
100%.
Sive, what's your favourite song to perform right now?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I get asked that a lot. I am still mad into Ed Sheeran. I love Ed Sheeran. I think probably Give Me Love by Ed Sheeran is one of my favourite songs to sing, along with a couple of the songs by Holly Humberstone. Deep End would probably be my favourite, and some of her other songs. And I also really like performing my original songs as well.
Awesome. It's great. I guess you kind of upsell, isn't it? So you gain the initial attraction from people. Is this true, actually? Let me know. Maybe it's not. With the covers, so that'll hook them in almost, and then they'll stay for the originals. So then you can upsell your originals from doing covers. Is that kind of how you look at it?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the little secret tips that I know a couple of people use. They would sing a very, very well-known song like Ed Sheeran or something, and then kind of without announcing the song, they would go straight into an original song of theirs, because people are going to stay because you haven't specifically said what the song is. And then people will listen and appreciate how good it is and be like, oh, and then when you're finished, you're like, I wrote that song, and they're like, oh my God, that was really good. And
money.
Yeah.
Where's the CDs?
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's a great tip, a little secret tip we use.
You mentioned Holly Humberstone as being one of your kind of favourite artists. So you actually performed one of the songs by her called Deep End.
I did.
So it's an absolutely amazing performance, guys, and we're going to play that for you right now. And don't go anywhere, you guys at home. Let us know if you're enjoying the conversation. We're going to have a Q&A straight after this performance, and then we're going to have a little fun segment with Sive. We always do a fun segment with our artists because interviews can be a little bit boring. So we like to spice it up and make it all weird and stuff. So do hang around for that as well. But prepare your question as well during the performance, and we'll try to get to as many as possible. So here's Sive performing Deep End by Holly Humberstone. Enjoy.
Really tricky. My mom always asks me really tricky questions, and I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, does she? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm usually pretty good at being like, well. But she always asks me really hard.
She asks you the hard questions, does she? So by the way, guys, well, first of all, that was Saibh Skelly, of course. If you hadn't noticed already, performing a wonderful cover of Deep End by Holly Humberstone, and we're just chatting about questions and stuff like that. So yeah, guys, if you want to throw in your questions into the chat, feel free, and I will pass them on to Sive. And no pressure, throw in any kind of nice questions you have. And we've got her lovely manager slash mother here. Can I say that? Can I say that she's here? And we're just chatting. She always asks the hardest questions for Sive. So see if you can beat the toughness, right? Because is she kind of up there on the toughness scale of questions?
She is, definitely.
What does she do? Does she comment in on your live stream? Is that what she does?
She does, and sometimes I know a lot of people would have seen we do live streams together. And we sit down together and I play kind of a couple songs, and she asks me questions, whether it's her questions or questions that people are commenting, and people really do love those live streams. I think they're some of the most viewed live streams I have on YouTube and stuff, is the one with me and my mom.
No way, I haven't seen one of those yet, so I got to check them out and see what does your mom get asked any questions
she does.
Any strange ones or?
Definitely.
Will we just bring her onto the show, will we? So she's like, no. Okay, we won't put you on the spot like that. I should have probably consulted you in the email as well. I'm so sorry. It's like, no, I shouldn't be doing that. So while I wait for the questions to come in, and if any come in, of course, we got some great comments actually anyway. We got people saying wow, amazing, love this one. Goosebumps, Tony Austin is saying. We got Michael Arbeiter, our well-known independent artist aficionado. He knows so much about independent artists. He's such an amazing support, and he's saying the best. Loads, guys, there's just too many comments coming in. It's great. So Philip is saying Neve's questions are killers.
There.
Jesus, that's a statement and a half. Anthony Riley says Neve always asks good questions. Well, there you go. So it's not all things. So actually, Dave Duggan is saying, what's the best venue you've played in? You've only played in one venue at the moment, right?
Technically, I've only played in one venue, but I was doing a couple of live stream gigs in the Sound House in Dublin, run by Fluttertown and kind of Fen Media. I know you guys are friends of theirs. So I was doing venues there. I was doing a lot of live stream gigs and stuff, but I recently just did another gig with actually people watching.
Amazing.
What?
Which, yes.
My mind is blown.
I know.
That's happening now.
Yeah, it was in the outdoor seating area in the same bar that the Sound House is in. So technically it is the same venue, but it was a different stage. It was set up outside, and I had my family and friends there to watch while they outdoor dined. And I played a few songs, and that was probably my favourite, because I think like playing outdoors and for other people, that was really sick.
It's fulfilling the criteria of you transitioning from busking into a venue. It's kind of like that buffer before you get into the...
It's like you're already playing on the biggest venue in Dublin, which is like Dublin.
Open air. That's the
yeah.
best venue, I think, right?
Do you know what? I actually have a question for you, and I was thinking about while I was watching your wonderful performance there of the Holly Humberstone song. You have a lovely picking style, and you know, you're only 17. How long have you been playing guitar to develop such a lovely picking style and such a great control, you know, over what you play and being able to use your voice so brilliantly as well?
Well, firstly, thank you, because I suppose I've always been a little bit insecure about my guitar playing. That's been one of my kind of like biggest things that I was kind of like, I felt like it was holding me back a little bit, because I've only been playing guitar, I want to say I started playing guitar maybe a year before I started busking, so it was probably 3 or 4 years ago now, and I wasn't practicing very much, and I realised that, and I went out busking and I could strum the chords, but it wasn't anything special. So I worked on it, and I've been working on it a lot more the kind of past while. Absolutely. And it's kind of just come from that. I think it was almost good that I was a little bit insecure about it, because it did make me practice more.
Work on it, yeah,
and it made me it did make me work on it, and I'm getting there.
Sure.
I am just about getting there now. I feel a bit better about it.
And what's your guitar of choice?
So I'm using a Martin Dreadnought Jr., which is like my favourite ever, but I do have a couple other guitars. I have a Zager guitar, and I've got an electric guitar as well, which I don't play very much, but it's in a couple of my videos, and I'm going to work on a little bit more. I would like to play that.
Awesome. Cool.
One of the questions coming in are, when are you thinking about having a studio recording release?
So
do you get asked that a lot?
I do.
I feel like you do. Yeah.
I do. I've been always asked kind of the last while about studio recordings and Spotify and iTunes and stuff. And I suppose I can't say much at the moment. I'm trying to keep it on the low, but I am working on some very big things at the moment behind the scenes, and I am in the studio. I'm not going to say what I'm recording, but it will be announced over the next kind of few months, I want to say. And one thing definitely is that I'll be posting a lot of sneak peeks on TikTok. So if you want to find out the kind of like studio and behind the scenes stuff, do follow me on TikTok, because that's where everything's going to be.
Amazing, fantastic. Yeah, that's great. I'm really looking forward to seeing some studio recordings, and we have some recordings as well, still performances from within the studio that we'll show you very shortly as well. And it includes an original song.
Does,
which I'm super excited about, and it's called Everything You Want, and so stick around for that, guys, as well. So will we throw in one more question for Sive, actually, from the guys? We'll throw in another. So we've got one from Becca Music saying, what advice do you have for music channels? I play piano, and I was wondering if you have any tips for growing a music channel. I really like your covers, especially the Olivia Rodrigo ones.
Well, thank you for one. Thank you, Becca. I suppose tips, I gotta say that you just kind of gotta keep at it. It is very slow starting off. I think it is slow for everyone, no matter what. It's gonna be slow starting a channel and starting kind of an account on Instagram or anything. But I suppose you just gotta keep posting, and you gotta keep posting. And I find with every video I post, I almost improve with every video. So I think the more you post, the more you are going to improve, and the more your videos are gonna get better, whether that's you being better at your piano, or you being better at singing, or the quality of it and stuff. I suppose I figured out a lot about recording videos and stuff over the last few years because I posted so much, and because I kind of kept at it. So the biggest tip I have is to just keep going and keep posting, and eventually it will become easier, and I suppose your channel will grow eventually.
Yeah. What's kind of your biggest motivator? Like, do you have kind of a big motivation or an aspiration that you're kind of visualizing ahead, or is it a person, or is it a place or a thing? Is it a noun?
I wouldn't want to pick out one thing in particular, because I think I'm motivated by loads of different things, whether that be my friends and family, like my mom in particular, and like my friends, like the other musicians I know and stuff. I suppose that's one big thing, and I suppose just myself and kind of where I want to be in the future, and kind of I want to be able to make a living off music, because that is the one thing that I'm very interested in, and I kind of don't see myself doing anything else. So that is kind of the biggest motivation I have, is that if I work hard enough, I won't have to do anything else. And my biggest hobby is going to be like my job, and it kind of is at the moment, and I'm doing really well, I think, for myself and like what age I am and stuff. So that is the biggest motivation that I want to be able to make a living off this.
Amazing, amazing. And speaking of age, you know, you're 17. You're making us feel a little bit old here.
So old,
Sive,
so
Max, I mean, are you feeling a little old there?
I'm feeling ridiculous.
I'm feeling now unintentionally. I might add. Don't worry. I know you're not deliberately. It's just how it works. It's how life works. You're gonna meet people that are younger than you, right? That's just gonna live with it, right? I'm not gonna be
aging. It's like unavoidable, isn't it?
Yeah. So, so for our fun segment, because of this fact, you know. And we didn't want to go typical. We always try to go a little bit, shake things up a little bit. So for our fun segment today, we are going to give Saibh Skelly the Millennial Challenge.
Specially curated.
Yes, the Millennial Challenge, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to just throw a lot of stuff together. By the way, this is very low budget entertainment at this stage, so all the good.
You're kidding.
Don't worry, there's going to be more live performances, guys. Okay, this is just a bit of crack, shake things up. We're going to be showing a couple of pictures from the past. Some of it might be actually Gen X as well. We're going back a little bit, right? Like this is older than us, right? We're not that old.
It's older. Well, it's older than you.
Wow,
it's older than me.
I don't know.
I've lost all concept of time, but anyway, I think the thing is just to share our, break down boundaries between. Do we consider ourselves millennials?
I think we don't. I don't think it's not that you consider yourself. I think you just get boxed into an age group and you are one.
You just are what you are.
You can't change it.
So if you're comfortable with being a Gen Z,
I am.
Yeah, okay.
Gen Z is pretty cool. Gen.
It's pretty cool.
I like that, Gen.
So we're going to try and make the divide a little bit smaller.
We're going to make the divide smaller. That's exactly what we are. So it's not a condescending thing. We don't want to misconstrue here or anything like that. It's just we're sharing our sort of our past, isn't it, basically, with Sive. And then we're going to flip it and then
we are going to flip it.
Yeah, basically. So do you know what this is? Have you seen this before? I'm sure you have, right? It's an artist.
It's a tape.
It's a tape. Okay, fair enough. All right. Have you held a tape before in your hand? Have you used one ever? Like, have you experienced?
I don't think so. No.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's crazy to sort of hear, because I remember using the tape and you get a pencil and stuff to wind it down and stuff like that. Neve's nodding there saying, yeah, those were the days.
You know what's funny as well, because the tape is coming back.
Is it?
I was in Tower Records the other day and I saw the Declan McKenna album on tape. Which is such a Declan McKenna thing to do.
So maybe Sive should be releasing one of her songs on tape as well.
Maybe.
Tapes, vinyls come back as well, actually. And
definitely vinyl is big.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next picture. And by the way, guys in the comments, if you want to comment in anything about this, have you seen this before? Let us know. And Sive, what do you think?
I don't think I've seen this specifically. I know that it's some sort of game console.
Yes, you're
I
pretty
know
good.
that you play games on it. I've never played games on it, but that's what I would
That's
think.
essentially what it is, so you're not wrong.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's the first Game Boy, right, Colin?
The first Game Boy, absolutely. And if you look at the little green screen in there, that's the actual graphics. So there you go.
Tetris.
That's how stuff looked
That's
like
it.
when we were
there
kids.
you go. You got it. You got the Tetris
That's
in one.
exactly
So
what
there
it
you
is,
go.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Those were the days, though.
Those
you know
were
what I mean?
the
Like
days.
playing with your little thing.
You spend all your money on batteries.
See, if I was playing that less and like busking and doing music more, I'd probably be a lot more successful now in my 30s now, to be honest. So, but anyway, let's bring on the next one. All right, what do you think this is?
It's a tape as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, well, you are correct. You're definitely correct. There's a VHS tape, dear. A VHS tape. The visual equivalent of what you just saw earlier on. But you couldn't wind it with a pencil. If it came to the point where you had to wind that with a pencil,
that was horrible. You had to
watch
put it in the machine, and it was like, whatever, just put it in, and then you have to press the button, and it just goes really loud and rewinds it for you.
So and if the picture was weird,
Movies
you have to take it out.
it.
You have to blow on it, like you have to blow on the tape. And
it's like Netflix, like in a box.
Exactly. In a physical box, pretty much. But you could only fit one movie on it.
100%. If you didn't like the film, it was
like there was no choices.
You were done. You just
hello everybody. I'm the resident sound man.
Oh, by the way, we forgot.
I forgot to come in earlier, so I was too busy, But I just wanted to say it was mad looking at the VHS tape earlier when we were setting this up, because I was just thinking about how long it used to take. To
rewind the movie.
Do you remember we had to rewind them before you gave them back to the actual rental companies?
Did you have to do that?
They had the sticker.
Before there was Netflix, you had to rent video. And you had to go down to a shop and you didn't know if they were good or shite. and you had to be in like.
Oh, they would sometimes be damaged because it's very sensitive.
You didn't even know if they were in good quality.
Yeah. And also there was
And then
always
people wouldn't rewind them, and you knew to rewind them when you got them.
Yeah, I remember there used to always be this warning as well at the start, and it's like, if this video doesn't have that flashy hologram on the front, you're stealing, and it's just like you'd be scared. You'd be just like, oh, let's just check it. Is there a flashy thing on the front? I'm really scared. So they almost threatened you before you watch the bleeding movie.
You wouldn't steal a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go into a shoe shop and walk out with the shoe.
Yeah, that's basically how the commercials were. Like, piracy is a crime. And you're like, dude, I'm trying to watch Disney here. Like, give me a break. Like, I'm a kid. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, guys. And, that's an interesting one there, yeah? Everyone's commenting in, be kind, rewind.
I think we have you stumped with this one.
I don't know. I'm assuming it's something like you play games on as well.
Kind of.
It's like Pac-Man. I don't know.
So it's a Tamagotchi.
Okay.
Right, that's what it's called. Weird saying that now. It feels like it's been years. So I used to have one when I was in second class. So I would have been 8 years old. And that would have been in, I'm not going to give my age away just yet. But it's basically a little digital animal. And you make it grow, you feed it, you take it on walks, and it actually gets bigger and evolves over time. Like over days, sometimes weeks. Like it's actually like your little digital pet. And people used to have them, like everyone used to have them in school. And you just put them on your key ring, and then you have your little Tamagotchi, and then you could actually connect them together. Could you like make friends and stuff?
You can
with
make
other
friends
people?
and stuff. And if you didn't look after it, you just come back. And like if you went for a night out, you just come back and it'd be dead. And you have to start again. You have to press the two buttons together to revive to hatch your egg again. Yeah, but you know what's interesting about that is like, I don't know, those would be mid 90s, but maybe like in the height of the emo wave. People were like wearing them as chains around the place, like we're bringing them back as a fashion accessory.
Did you wear it around your neck, Colin? Did you?
No, I wasn't into that emo stuff. I was metal as fuck.
Were you metal? Yeah. No Tamagotchi for you then.
Well, black Tamagotchi.
Black Tamagotchi.
I was hatching dragons like Theo over here.
Was it like a snake or something or whatever?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I forgot if when they died, did you have to like reset them or something?
Yeah. It starts from scratch. Yeah, it's over.
I forgot. Like I couldn't remember.
I had a little dragon one. I don't know what happened to it. It was
And
lovely.
if you
really enjoyed that.
I think if 3 or 4 of them died, you get a visit from the guards.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Guys, you're making me miss the 90s so much here.
Because now everything's on the phone. Like you have absolutely everything on the phone. Everything that we show you here is pretty much on the phone now.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
amazing
that's
to
very
imagine,
true.
isn't it? On one device. Everything used to be separated.
I think there was a little bit of fun in that.
Absolutely.
I'm old, I get it, but like
Yeah, you are old.
Yeah,
you are old.
Well, I get older
like
because you
you
keep me in this little cave here.
So you're not getting any sunlight in there. You're not getting any younger. We need to get you some vitamin D tablets in there. All right, let's show us the next one, Keito. Let's go. All right, I actually don't. I'm not
don't
well
remember
aware of
this
this one.
one?
No, I'm not
Oh my
fully.
God.
I've seen it in the Home Alone.
Yes,
But anyway,
yeah.
Okay, so what are you thinking?
This is a rare one now.
I'm gonna guess that it's something you play music on.
Yes. Very good.
That's all I've got.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Colin, you know
dive
more
into
about this.
to the history of the Talk Boy.
Here we go.
You
He's
know
prepared this
Home
now.
Alone, right? The movie Home Alone.
yes, I do.
Yes. Well, in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, there was a scene where he recorded the crooks or whatever, recorded his own voice and used the Talk Boy to change his voice, to let the crooks think that there were adults there. So all of us kids were like, we need to get them and fool our teachers and stuff. So they were ridiculously expensive, and we had to beg our parents to get them. So we'd be in school and there'd be one Talk Boy between 20 of us, and we'd all have to bring it out and go back. But then of course when you got older, you'd be recording your tunes onto it and stuff.
There was a practical use
exactly.
for it.
So you'd buy that as a kid, but you'd be I've nothing to record my songs onto. So you're the Talk Boy, and you'd bring it down. So kind of retro,
That's cool.
retro value as well. So
Guys, you're missing the best part. We used to do prank phone calls with them.
Yes. Because you could make your voice.
Oh, right, you can slow down your voice.
Make your voice sound like this.
That's brilliant. Awesome. Okay, let's do the next one. And do you have any background music there, Keito? Anything kind of chill to play as well? Okay, so have you seen this one before?
I think so.
Nice one.
I think it's a Furby.
Yay!
How do you know that? How do you know the name of that? Do you remember where you might have?
Did they have kind of new versions of them
I
on the
think they
Late
did.
Late Toy
Probably
Show or something? I think.
Oh, maybe. They're our competitors, so we don't
Late
like
Toy
mentioning
Show.
them on the show.
They
you
were
know?
on another. They were on a TV show that
They're
I
on
would have
some
seen.
unnamed
unnamed
TV show.
TV show
broadcasting
about
channel.
toys. That
Yeah,
happened
probably
once a year.
mediocre. Like
Yeah.
we're going to do our next one for Christmas.
no.
You watch our one, it's during Christmas, it's going to be
Unless,
great.
of course, you end up on the toy show next year.
Oh, well, then we'll be
Get a bit old now.
We'll be supporting you. We'll be supporting you.
100%.
No. Don't worry, you'll never be as
We'll
old
let
as us.
sleeping dogs
so
lie.
you're fine. Great. So you got that one, yeah?
I did, yeah.
So did you ever see it in action, like what it does and stuff like that?
I
kinda
don't think so.
weird.
It kind of moves around.
Yeah, it moves its
what it
mouth
does
and
either.
stuff, and it has like a load of different phrases. Did you ever own one? Did you?
I didn't know one. Again, I was
No.
metal as fuck, so I
yeah.
owned like a
They didn't have
furry
black
dragon
Furbies.
that like sang Metallica songs.
You probably burnt your
belly.
Furby or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's, will we just do one more? Will we do a final one, Keith? What you think? And then
One
we'll move
more.
on to this one. So what's, yeah, there we go. Mr. Frosty. What you reckon?
Well, I'm gonna guess with the name. It's like a slushy maker. Is that what
Pretty
it
much
is?
exactly
Like?
what it is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're on a roll. On a roll.
Slushy
there we
maker,
go.
there you go. Fair play to you.
Good guess.
I don't think I ever owned one. I always
Mr.
wanted
Frosty.
one, but my parents never got me one. I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
it was because it was full of sugar, so they'd be like,
Was
we're
it?
not getting them that.
Ah,
They're
that
hyper
was
enough. So it was
I
like,
was a
you know, it
hyper
was just
kid,
something
so,
you'd
yeah.
stand in front of the toy shop window with your hand on the screen, like, you know, Mr. Frosty, we'll
Yeah.
be together someday.
Was there a song about it or something?
It was like, Mr. Frosty is such fun. He makes drinks for everyone.
Ah,
that's the song. Yes.
Oh, that's triggering stuff in my brain now. I'm getting
Oh my
nostalgic here.
God.
Wow, amazing. So that's it, guys. I think. Did you want to
Yes, we're
finish
going
off
to
with
flip the
something?
switch side.
Okay.
We're gonna turn it on himself, who was loving making you squirm there with all this old shite that no one cares about. So I have a list here of basically I have a little quiz for Mr. Kozak.
Okay.
And it's of millennial. No, Gen Z sayings, millennial, gnarly dude. No, Gen Z sayings, right, that I got off the internet, so I don't know if
God.
these are real things.
Okay.
Anyway, so here we go. So
Okay, so I have to guess what they
you
mean.
have to try and
is
guess
it, or-
what they mean, yeah.
So, did you want Sive to read them out, or you read them out?
do you know,
yeah?
I think I
read
read
them
it.
out.
My handwriting is atrocious.
Did you write that by hand? Did you?
I did. I
Jeez,
wrote by
fair play
hand.
to
That's
you.
how much I
wouldn't have
put
the
into
time.
the
That's
show.
definitely
Yeah.
that's definitely millennial stuff now, right?
This is it, and I didn't even know I was going to be on the show today, so you know.
You didn't.
It
You
was
fell asleep
very,
on the
it was
couch.
very
I'll
clever.
let
of
you
me.
go. I'll let you away with that
So the
one.
first one is,
Okay.
if I were to say to Sive, I high key love your shallow cover, what would I mean?
I high key. So
I high key love your
All right. So
shallow
high
cover.
key is like
Sive was like,
I
"What the fuck are you
openly.
talking about?"
I would say that a lot.
High key would be like openly.
Yes.
Because low key is kind of like on the slide.
Yes, exactly.
Is that right? Is high key that? Right. Because I know low key, but I never heard high key being
I
said.
think it's like enthusiastically. I
Oh, right, okay.
enthusiastically like
Okay.
your shoes.
Oh, okay.
Or your shallow cover. That's the next one. So,
Okay. I thought skin.
skin.
Yeah, shallow cover, like skin.
No, your shallow cover. All right.
All right.
It's
Okay,
the
so
coverage of
clothes.
Ballyfermot.
Oh, very good.
shallow, high key shallow coverage of Ballyfermot.
Okay, it might be a
Right.
colloquial thing. It might change depending on the state or
So
something.
the second one is, so Kozak, if I were to say to you, Saibh Skelly is such a mood, what would I mean?
I would say like a vibe. She's such a vibe, like a positive vibe.
Yes,
Yeah?
I think so. Isn't
Yes,
that right?
I would use that
Yes,
word
yes,
an
yes.
awful lot.
And finally, if I were to say,
I'm not doing bad at this, guys.
you're not doing too
No,
bad.
no,
This is it. You're not as
Okay,
out of
I'm
touch as you would.
impressed.
I
You
told you,
would
I watch a
let
bit of Twitch
me-
now. I do. I watch a bit of the youngsters on the Twitch. You know.
So the
doing
next one
games.
is, okay, if I were to say, Dave Duggan is not a troll, and you were to reply to me, that's cap.
That's
What would you be implying?
Oh, that's BS.
bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
Absolutely. 'Cause David
Yeah.
Duggan is a troll. If
He's
you
a
don't
troll
know
and
who David
three-quarters,
Duggan
yeah.
is. David Duggan, who asked you a question, a very untrolly question for David. David is our resident troll, so there you go. Do you think Kozak did well on the?
I think you did really well. I'm
Yeah,
impressed.
you'll be all like.
I'm impressed with
Greetings,
myself.
fellow kids.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous. You know, I don't
There
like
you
being
go.
put on the spot. Like, I obviously
right.
wasn't prepared for that at all. No, seriously, I wasn't. So it was. I'm proud of myself. I must have just
Well done.
absorbed it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I must have absorbed it.
100%. Cool.
Well, that's great. Well, that was a fun
That's
segment,
it,
guys.
yeah.
Thanks so much, Colin, as well, for taking part. And Sive, thank you so much for taking part in our
course, it's
madness.
cool.
I'm glad we got to shake it up a little bit. And guys at home as well, thanks so much for commenting in and asking questions. We're going to leave you with 2 more songs. But before we go, Sive, is there anything you'd like to sort of mention? I know you mentioned a little bit. There's some plans in the future. We're not going to talk too much. You already mentioned a little bit. But is there anything you'd like to mention to the people watching at home?
So no, I think really just if you want to kind of keep up to date with me and what I'm doing in my life and my music, do make sure you follow me on social media because I post everything on social media, and I'm gonna be posting an awful lot over the next while. So if you do want to keep up to date, that is the best way to find me. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok mostly, I suppose, and YouTube and Facebook and all that kind of other stuff. So that's all I have to say, really. And just thanks for having me.
Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's so nice to meet you and chat to you. And you guys at home as well, thanks so much for tuning in. But don't go anywhere. We've got 2 more songs by the wonderful Saibh Skelly. And I'll just give you their names. This is How You Fall in Love, and it's a Jeremy Zucker cover. And also, she's going to be playing an original, yes! And it's called Everything You Want. So stay tuned, guys. After this as well, we're going to play part 2 of Silence of the Shams. And in this scene, we're going to be featuring the awesomely hilarious Darren Conway, guys, so don't go anywhere. And we're also going to be joined later on, or very shortly at this stage, by Jay Smith, an absolutely wonderful singer-songwriter. So thanks again, guys. And if you've enjoyed the show, don't forget to like the stream and sub. We do this every 2 weeks. So